The great council chamber of Thracia had seen 1,000 species rise and 1,000 species kneel. Its walls were carved from living crystal, humming faintly with the accumulated treaties of 900 years. Delegates from across the coalition floated, slithered, and strode into their assigned seats. The insectal Vren, the towering silicon-skinned Akasai, the ancient and weary Solakar. And in the human delegation's seat sat one woman, Ambassador Elena Reyes. Alone, small, unremarkable to eyes that measured worth in wingspan and weaponry. "The humans have arrived," announced the council herald, a being of shifting light, to present their petition for coalition membership. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Not cruel exactly, but the kind of laughter reserved for children who had wandered into an adult's meeting. The Vren ambassador's mandibles clicked in amusement. "One ship," he buzzed. "One fleet, they call it. We have seen your species' military registry, Ambassador Reyes. Forgive us if we struggle to be intimidated." Elena said nothing. She simply listened. "Tell us?" The Akasai delegate rumbled, his voice like grinding stone. "Why a species with no faster-than-light weapons, no planetary shield arrays, no void-forged hulls, believes it deserves a seat among the stars?" "Because we asked," Elena said quietly. "That's usually how it starts." More laughter. The Solakar elder, oldest being in the chamber, did not laugh. He watched her with eyes like dying suns, saying nothing, missing nothing. The vote came swiftly, and it was not close. Membership denied. Worse, under an obscure clause dating back 3 centuries, Earth's outer colonies were declared unclaimed territory, open to peaceful resettlement by any coalition species strong enough to hold them. It was theft with better manners. "You cannot defend 3 systems with 12 ships," the Vren ambassador said afterward, almost gently, the way one might explain gravity to a child. "By the time your fleets arrive, our colonists will already be settled. There need be no violence. Simply accept the inevitable." Elena rose from her seat. Her voice did not rise with her. "You're right," she said. 12 ships can't defend 3 systems." The chamber quieted, sensing something they didn't have a word for. "So we won't use 12 ships." She walked out without another word, and the silence she left behind was louder than any threat could have been. That night, by Thracia's slow crimson dusk, the coalition's sensor arrays detected something strange emanating from Earth's system. Not weapons fire, not fleet movements, something quieter, and somehow far more unsettling. Communications traffic. Millions of channels opening all at once. "What are they doing?" the Akasai military attaché demanded, staring at readouts that made no sense. "There's no coordinated strike pattern, no weapons signatures. It's just talking. They're talking to each other." The Solakar elder, watching from the observation deck, allowed himself the faintest, oldest smile. "That," he said softly, "is precisely what should frighten you." By morning, Thracian reckoning, 16 standard hours, the disputed systems were no longer undefended. They were unrecognizable. Where 12 warships should have stood alone, over 300 vessels now held formation. Cargo haulers stripped down and armored overnight. Mining vessels with jury-rigged plasma cutters repurposed as point defense. Civilian transports, corporate freighters, even decommissioned relics pulled from scrapyards. All of them flying under a single banner, all of them answering a single call that had gone out to every human ship in known space. "Earth needs you. Come home." They had not built a fleet. They had become one. The Vren scout ship that arrived to peacefully resettle the outer colony broadcast a single, frantic message back to Coalition Command before it turned and fled. They didn't wait for permission to be strong. They just decided to be. Overnight. All of them together. "We are not prepared for this." Ambassador Reyes stood in Earth's primary command center, watching the tactical display fill with green icons. Merchant captains who'd flown cargo runs for decades. Retired naval officers who'd answered a broadcast at 3 a.m. and never asked why. Teenagers who'd spent years running simulation games now manning real sensor stations because someone, somewhere, had trained them without either of them realizing it mattered. A young ensign, barely out of training, turned to her. Ma'am, how did you know they'd come? All of them. Overnight. No orders, no draft. No. Elena looked at the display. Thousands of names, thousands of ships, thousands of ordinary people who had simply decided that home was worth defending. I didn't know, she said. I just knew we'd ask. And we'd never had to ask twice before. The Solakar elder requested an emergency audience with the council the following day. He was old enough to remember when coalition doctrine still spoke of acceptable civilian losses and strategic patience. He was old enough to recognize what he had witnessed for what it truly was. You measured them by their warships, he said to the assembled delegates, his ancient voice carrying no anger, only a kind of sorrowful wonder. I measured them by their willingness to become warships, on a single night's notice, for no reward but the safety of people they had never met. The Vren ambassador shifted uncomfortably. It was a bluff, a show of force. It cannot be sustained. It does not need to be sustained, the elder interrupted. It needs only to be repeated, and it will be every single time. That is what you failed to understand, Ambassador. Every other species in this chamber calculates the cost of loyalty. Humanity has never once asked the question. He turned toward the empty human seat. We did not defeat an empire last night. We witnessed a family answer a phone call, and I have never, in 900 years, seen anything more terrifying or more magnificent. Word of the miracle fleet spread through coalition space faster than any official report could contain it. Not because of its size, not because of its weapons, because of what it represented. A species that could not be conquered by attrition, because there was no limit to how many of them would show up when called. A species where the line between soldier and civilian dissolved the moment someone they loved was threatened. The membership petition was reconsidered within the week. This time no one laughed. Ambassador Reyes did not gloat. She simply took her seat again, calm as before, and said the only thing that needed saying. We told you, we just asked. And we never have to ask twice. Across the chamber, delegates who had once seen humanity as small, fragile, and alone finally understood what they were truly looking at. Not a species with the strongest fleet in the galaxy, but one with something far more dangerous. A species that would build one, from nothing in a single night, for each other. And for the first time the galaxy understood what it truly meant to be human. Subscribe for more human stories from the stars.